Hello everyone, it's Mr. Ben again with yet another story. And this time our story is The Golden Carpet. There was once a handsome prince named Aram. He loved to go out hunting with his friends. One summer day, they came to a village in the hills. Prince Aram saw a beautiful girl fetching some water from the well. The prince and his friends were thirsty. "Give us a drink of water," they cried. The girl poured water on a cloth. "Please wipe your faces first," she said. Then she poured some more water into a cup for them. "You can drink now." "Why did you do that?" the prince asked. "If you drink too quickly, it can make you sick," the girl explained. "You need it to cool down." She smiled and went away. Prince Aram was amazed. "Who is she?" he wondered. His friends asked the villagers. "That's Annie, the shepherd's daughter," they said proudly. "She taught everyone in our village to read. Clever Annie." "I am going to marry her," Aram decided. His friends were shocked. "You can't make a shepherd girl into a princess." But that evening the prince went to the shepherd's house. It was full of fine carpets and lace. "My daughter, Annie made everything here." "I want to marry your daughter," Aram burst out. "Well then, you should ask her yourself," said the shepherd. Annie laughed. "I don't know anything about you. What do you do?" "I am a prince," Aram said with pride. "You can't just be a prince," said Annie. "Can't you do anything else?" "I will only marry a man who knows how to do a real job." "Annie is right. I really should learn a skill," the prince thought. When he returned to his palace, Aram called for the best craftsmen in the city. "What can you teach me?" he asked. One old man stepped forward. "Your Majesty, I can show you how to weave carpets threaded with gold." "That would be a fine skill for a prince." The prince worked hard and learned all he could. A year later, he went back to Annie's village with a beautiful carpet. "I made it for you." It had a pattern of flowers and birds and golden crowns around Annie's own name. Soon after, Annie married Prince Aram. In time, they became king and queen. They ruled wisely and well, and all their people loved them. The king and his friends still liked to go hunting. One day they rode into the hills, many miles from the palace. When it started getting dark, they made a fire and set up camp for the night. Suddenly, thick black smoke rolled around them. Invisible enemies attacked from all sides. "Help!" Invisible hands tied them together and forced them to march through the night. As the dawn broke, they reached high cliffs and trekked into a cave. Once they were inside, the cave mouth closed behind them. Torches flickered, and at last they saw who had captured them, a cruel sorcerer. "You are my slaves," thundered the sorcerer. "Work for me, and I might just spare your lives." He led them into a vast cavern. In the dim light, they saw men and women hunched over looms and workbenches. You will die unless you do as he says. Aram was horrified, but he was determined to save his friends. Sir, we are weavers, he said. We can make the finest carpet you have ever seen. We will need fine wool and gold threads and the biggest loom you have. The sorcerer's slaves worked day and night. Their masters took everything they made and sold it in the city. Aram secretly taught his friends all the skills he knew. Gradually, a beautiful carpet took shape, and into the border the king wove a secret message. When the sorcerer saw the finished carpet, he was impressed. Good work! It will make me rich. You should show it to the queen, Aram said. She will give you the best price for it. Great idea! All this time, Queen Annie had been desperately worried. She sent out one search party after another, but there was no news. Still, she was sure that the king was alive. One day, she heard that a strange old man wanted to show her a fine carpet, and felt a surge of hope. She recognized the king's work right away. Then she spotted the secret message. My darling, the man who brought you this carpet is an evil sorcerer. We are his prisoners in these mountains. Help us. Please lend me your stick, the queen said to the old man. I need to spread the carpet out a little. She took his magic staff. Then she cried, Gods, seize him. The sorcerer screeched and writhed, but without his staff he was helpless. Queen Annie herself rode to the mountains to rescue the king. When she reached the cliff, she struck it hard with the sorcerer's staff. The staff snapped and the cave opened. The slaves saw bright daylight and cheered. Aram rushed into Annie's arms. I knew you would save me. The queen brought the slaves back to the palace and sent for their families. Soon they were all strong and well. So were Aram and his friends, although they weren't so keen on hunting anymore. I think I will try fishing instead. King Aram and Queen Annie ruled for many more years. Their palace became more and more splendid. It was filled with beautiful things made by the king and queen, their children, and all their friends. This brings us to the end of the story of the golden carpet. See you in my next video. Have a great evening. Bye.